Hello friends, welcome back. Today I want to slow down and talk about something that is often misunderstood, even by the people who observe it. Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Because for a lot of people this becomes a checklist, a dietary shift, or a tradition they follow without fully understanding why. But when you really look at it, this isn't just about what you eat. It's about memory, it's about identity, and it's about learning to recognize what quietly spreads in your life. Most people understand Passover as a historical event, and it is. It's the story of deliverance from Egypt. But Scripture doesn't just tell the story, it makes you live it. In Exodus 12, the instructions are very specific. The people are told to prepare the lamb, mark their doorposts, and eat the meal in haste. They're standing, they're ready, they're not settled. This isn't a peaceful dinner. It's a moment of transition. Because deliverance isn't just something that happens to you, it's something you have to move into. And that urgency matters. They didn't have time to let the bread rise, which means no delay, no lingering, no slow transition. When it was time to leave, they left, and that becomes part of the practice. But here's where it gets interesting. The command isn't just eat unleavened bread, it's remove leaven from your home. That's bigger. That turns this into an environmental shift. Your kitchen changes, your meals change, your routines change. Because leaven is not just an ingredient, it's a process. It works slowly, quietly, invisibly, until the whole batch is changed. And Scripture uses this as a metaphor over and over again, sometimes for corruption, sometimes for influence, sometimes even for growth. But the point is always the same. It spreads. So when you remove leaven during this time, you're not just changing what you eat. You're stepping into a question. What has been quietly spreading in my life? Because just like leaven, habits spread, thoughts spread, influences spread, and most of the time we don't notice until it's already shaped everything. This is also about identity, because when the Israelites removed leaven from their homes, their lives looked different. Their kitchens looked different. Their food looked different. Their rhythm looked different. And that is the point. Identity in Scripture is not just something you believe. It's something you live. There's also something powerful about the act of removing leaven, because you have to look for it, find it, and remove it with intention. And that mirrors something internal, because we don't always see what's shaping us. Sometimes we have to slow down and ask, what have I allowed in that is now influencing everything? And here's something important. Leaven isn't always used negatively in Scripture. There are places where it represents growth and expansion, which tells us something really important. Leaven itself isn't the issue. Influence is the issue. What are you allowing to spread? By removing leaven for a set time each year, you create a rhythm, a pause, an interruption of normal life. And that interruption creates awareness. It wakes you up to things you would normally overlook. And this is where it all comes together. Passover is a moment, but unleavened bread is a process. Deliverance begins in a night, but transformation takes time. 7 days of living differently, so that what happened doesn't just stay a story. It becomes something you carry forward. So maybe the question isn't just, what is leaven? Maybe the better question is, what is shaping me without me realizing it? And what would it look like to remove it, even temporarily, so I can remember who I am and where I'm going? Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread is about more than tradition. It's about returning to awareness, returning to intentional living, returning to the design that was there from the very beginning. I hope this has blessed you and give you something to think about. Until next time, stay healthy in heart.